can imagine the scene. You probably meditated a lot in your life, and then you open your eyes, you finish the meditation, you feel very serene, and in front of you, you see other serene beings, crocodiles with their long teeth all around. When I started my spiritual path, I was quite skeptical about the whole thing of spiritual teachers. Are they actually caring, or are they just enjoying the fame, the name and fame, all the validation they get, all the adoration they get? Are they really deep in the practice, or actually quite superficial and more on the social side? And this episode in Swami Rama's life, reading that, I mean, way in the beginning, 20 years ago, when I started my path, and the first steps of my path, it really clicked something inside of me. Because in this story that we will present, he receives all that glory all of a sudden. He becomes somebody on the spiritual, somebody very known and very respected. And then his actions there, they were really amazing for me, and they clarified for me that yes, there are real seekers, real masters out there. So I hope the story will be as impactful for you as it was for me. We'll get to it step by step. First of all, I just want to share a little bit more about Swami Rama's childhood. When he was 3 years old, you know kids 3 years old, how they are? What's their state of consciousness? 3. His master came to visit, and his master took him to the side and said, "This is the mantra." And Swami Rama says, "Yes, I know. I remember it. I say it all the time." And the master said, "Yes, I know that you know. I come here to confirm for you. You are saying the right mantra. Continue to say it every time." So at the age of 3, he already had a constant practice of japa yoga, and he remembered already his past lives, and he knew, I did not complete my spiritual mission in previous lives. I still have a part, and my mission would be to complete that part in this life. In the last episode, we spoke about Swami Rama when he was meditating in the cave and he received food from a subtle source, and his master was very angry with him that he didn't go to beg, and he said he's very lazy. And Swami Rama says, "Guruji, I thought I was doing right. Now that you tell me, I realize I was doing a mistake. What can I do? How can I have spiritual discernment? It's very confusing for me." And then the master said, "Oh, there is a good mantra for spiritual discernment, the Gayatri mantra." I don't know if it was the long, this Om Bhur Bhuva Svaha and so forth, or it was the short Bija mantra of Gayatri, but he said, yeah, you just say that mantra and it will be fine. You will awaken spiritual discernment. And he said, go to Varanasi. There is a place there. One of my disciples will give you food. And he made like a line around the hut where Swami Rama was. And he said, you don't come out of this line. Only to go to toilet. I guess he had nature toilet. But aside from that, you never leave this line and you don't speak to anyone. You just repeat the mantra 2.4 million times and you will have discernment. And Swami Rama, a proper disciple, started repeating the mantra. If it's a Bija mantra, I notice you can say about 1,000 Bija mantras. I've done such tapasas. About 1,000, 1,200 Bija mantras in 10 minutes. You can calculate how much it will take to say 2.4 million, and how did he do the counting, I don't know, but he did count. And he's there repeating the Gayatri mantra, repeating. And it's Varanasi, it's full of swamis, it's full of all that, scholars. And, you know, when somebody is actually meditating and not showing off, the people get interested, and then people would come and look at him meditate. And then some scholars, some pandits who were jealous, they say, oh, this guy, he doesn't speak to anyone, he just sits there, repeats the mantra, he's just a show-off. He doesn't know anything from the scriptures. So they come, a whole group of them, sit there and start telling him, oh, in text so-and-so, it says that, what do you say? Oh, he's saying nothing. He's an idiot, he knows nothing of the scriptures. He recites like a monkey there. He just tries to get, he will get famous and then some rich man will take care of him. That's his plan. He's a hypocrite. And they continue to taunt him, and they come and again and bother him and so forth, and he's repeating his mantra, and then he flips. He flips, he walks behind the line, he takes one of them and he throws him in the Ganges. And when the guy comes to give him food, he says, oh, we received a telegram from your master. It's not the Telegram app. This is some years ago, the actual telegram. We received a telegram from your master. He says, Poli, you broke your tapas. Start from 0. So he starts. I don't know which number he was. Maybe it was 1,800,000. I don't know. He starts again from 0. And then somebody comes and starts to give him food in the night. No, first he stands there in the night, very honorable, a little midget. And Swami Rama undisturbed. But every night he comes in midnight and prostrates himself, bows. And then he asks him, bring me some food, bring me some sweets. So he starts to bring him sweets. They start to speak. There is something very strange going on there. I'll make a long story short. It was a kind of subtle being, a kind of ghost. And when he realizes the whole thing, he does a favor that was asked by this subtle being. And when the thing is done, he realizes that again he broke his tapas for some sweets and milk. And his friend comes, we received another telegram from your master. Poli, you broke your tapas again. Start from 0. And the third time, he succeeded. After that, his master, he returns to his master. His master is very happy. He's done the tapas in completion. He went through the test. He didn't give up. Very good. And then his master sends him to Omkareshwar. Omkareshwar is somewhere in the center of India, is where one of the strongest temples of the Shiva Lingam in all of India. It's a very, very charged spiritual point. Personally, this was one of the places that impacted me the most energetically in India. And he searches for a place. He gets the next spiritual practice. So he did the practice of the fire, and then he did the practice of Gayatri. He receives the next practice from his master. He awakens certain qualities gradually. And he tries to find a place where nobody will bother him. He goes to the villagers and says, look, I am just a simple sadhu. If you can just once a day come bring me a little bit of rice and vegetables, you know, a chapati, something, so that I don't die of hunger. And some of the families are very kind and they give him. So he makes his little hut and he meditates in particular hours. He goes a few kilometers away from the city. And the villagers are like, oh, that sadhu, he went to the crocodile area. Now, if he's a real sadhu, the crocodiles won't touch him. And if he's a fake sadhu, that's that. Then he's a fake sadhu. Then the crocodiles will eat and we will not have to give him our chapati. And he all the time meditates where the crocodiles are not, because they come out in specific hours. Having cold blood, they come out in specific hours to heat up. I don't remember exactly which hours. But then the season changes, and then when he goes out, he finds himself surrounded with many crocodiles. You can imagine the scene. You probably meditated a lot in your life, and then you open your eyes, you finish the meditation, you feel very serene, and in front of you, you see other serene beings, crocodiles with their long teeth all around. And the crocodile is a symbol of Ganges. He says, oh, Mother Ganges has come to bless me with her symbolic animal. And he returns to his hut and goes out and he sits and he meditates with the crocodiles, having this temperament, saintly, temperament. The crocodiles weren't disturbed by him. He wasn't disturbed by the crocodiles. He had a way with animals. He had a bear as a pet. When he was young in the Himalayas, he had a bear called Bola. 11 years. He said, I would sleep in my cave, and in the morning the bear would wait outside the cave. I don't know if you ever had a pet. It's very nice to caress the bear. And he says he was a nice bear. He never hurt anyone, but if anybody came close to me, he would knock him down. He was a bodyguard there, and they would walk around together, him and the bear, 11 years. So a bear was not a problem, and also crocodiles were not a problem. Now, somebody passed there and saw this sadhu meditating with crocodiles and took a picture. And somebody in the newspaper published the picture. And after a few days, all of India was, oh, a real sadhu meditating with crocodile. They came to check. Now, India has 5 popes. They are called the Shankaracharya, on the name of Adi Shankaracharya, the great saint that somehow revived Hinduism, probably in the 8th, 9th century. Some people say he lived much longer before that. So one of these Shankaracharyas wants to retire, and he's searching for a successor, and he says, this guy sounds good. So they send people to check. He sends his staffers, and they go binoculars, and they check, what is this sadhu doing? They ask the villagers, and they say, no, every day he meditates, every day there are crocodiles. He wasn't eaten on Monday, nobody ate him on Tuesday, and on Wednesday he's still here. And they come back and they say, no, this guy is real. He meditates the whole day, he lives a pure life, the villagers have high opinion of him, and this is not like an occasional, it is something miraculous about him. And that Shankaracharya says, okay. He finds out he's the disciple of Swami Dharam Das, who's a very known, elevated guru from the Himalayas. Fine. They invite him to be the Shankaracharya. He's very young, very, very young, to become a pope in your 20s, I think he was, very young still. And he asks his guru, can I? And the guru says, do whatever you want. My blessing is always with you. Okay. And he had inside of him a certain wish for fame and a lot of wish to help and to transform and to do good through that position. He thought, I can influence many people and bring the spirit of my master to a lot of people. So he becomes the Shankaracharya, he has all the clothes of the Pope, and then he had this schedule in the ashram. You sit like this, and people come, and you bless them. And there was just no end to the current of people, and he was like, I'm a spiritual Barbie doll. He said like that. And he was trying to make a reform, but then all the old swamis who were his staff, they were like, no, it has to stay like this. And he had a lot of resistance, and he didn't have time to practice. He had a very, very tight schedule. And he said, well, if I can't practice, I haven't attained enlightenment. If I can't practice and I'll be stuck here for the rest of my life, what's the point? Yeah, I do a little bit of reform, but if I am not completely pure and divine, and I'm not, and if I'm not completely enlightened, and I'm not, also the reform that I will do will be limited. I haven't finished my sadhana. I haven't finished my practice. I'm still a disciple. It's not suitable for me, this role. So he was like, oh, how do I get out of this? So he started going for walks, trying to escape. Because he's all the time surrounded. I mean, the Pope doesn't just say, guys, I'm going to Paris for 3 days. I see you when I come back. The whole Vatican comes with him. So every time he's walking, everybody. So he's very strong. So he starts to exhaust them. Going further and further. There's less and less people coming. And then he starts taking the car and then walking. And then there's only him and the driver. Everybody's just fed up with his stupid walks. It's only the driver and him. And then one day he says to the driver, it's no problem, you stay, I take the car. Then the driver is fine. One person he could cheat in that day. He takes the car, he gets to the rail station, he takes the first train to the Himalayas, and he disappears. He just disappears in the Himalaya for 1 year. get out of my face. This is just, I had absolutely enough. He runs to his guru, he embraces him, and he says, why did you let me do it? He says, I let you do whatever you want. Now you have seen how empty is name and fame, how useless is the vain adoration of the masses. And now that you had the taste of it, you can transcend it. And you are ready for your next stage in the evolution. It's a very tantric approach. You fulfill the desire, you see what it actually does, what it actually absolutely doesn't. And then it's done, end of story. You don't need any more to rise again. You think, oh, but if I would be praised, all my problems would be gone. Absolutely not. But once everybody praises you, then you realize, okay, not there. I cannot search there. Let me search somewhere meaningful. Yes, so this is today's chapter of Swami Rama's life, and we'll continue next time.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.